I actually had no real clue just how different the world treated white folks and black folks.
In today's video, I'll be reacting to this video that I came across too, which I think is very important for us to have a conversation about. But yeah, guys, watch this clip, come back, and let's talk about it.
Let's talk about what we're doing to white people. There's been something going on for a while now that we're being told not to notice. More to the point, that we're asking white people not only to ignore, but to accept. The rising tide of racial hatred against white people. In the past decade, there has been a noticeable cultural shift in what constitutes acceptable speech as it relates to white people. Back then, saying something offhanded about white people were seen as not appropriate, but that soon gave way to our current times, in which there exists virtually no limit to what racial minorities can and do say about white people. I believe this is the natural outgrowth of a perverse ideology that teaches us that every societal ill is the fault of white people, and that whatever prejudice acts we may inflict upon them does not constitute discrimination because we don't have the power to discriminate. And alarmingly, this is particularly pronounced in the younger generation. In today's society, it has become somewhat fashionable to think things and say things about and to white people that would not be acceptable if it was said about any other race. They'll attribute negative experiences that they've had with white people to their whiteness. You had an argument in line at the grocery store with a white person? They were acting entitled because they were white. A white driver cut you off when you were driving? They need to check their white privilege. Your actions, your conduct, and your existence, in other words, boil down to your whiteness. And ashamedly, at one point in time, this was how I used to think as well. And beyond the people in my circle, I noticed that many people of color have this sort of blasé attitude, an attitude most particularly pronounced when there are no other white people around. Things are being said not just behind closed doors, but out in the open, not just between close friends, but between complete strangers. So here's the thing. This is something that I've experienced countless times, so I know that there are other people who are experiencing it too.
As you've seen the video, that is what this man had to say. And I must say, people of color are the most betrayers, I would say, that we have in the world, because they feel like they need to be so much close to these people for them to maybe feel like they are relevant. I don't know, like it looks like that. I have a few videos of some white people that also admit they say those things and teach that racism and that hate to their children.
Growing up in the mountains of North Carolina, I was taught racism. From as young as I can remember, I was told black people are violent. Black people are lazy. Black people are not as smart as white people. I remember my dad told me that black people are too lazy to work, and so they depend on welfare to live, and they sell drugs. 10 minutes after my dad said that to me, a man knocked on the door. I let him in. He handed my dad some money. My dad weighed out some marijuana and a few pills and handed it to that gentleman. And then we went to the store to buy some groceries. We didn't buy groceries with the money that that man just handed my father. It was little yellow, blue, and green food coupons. So my dad is trying to teach me that black people are drug dealers on welfare, while my dad was selling drugs out the living room, living on welfare. The America I grew up in says if you comply, everything will be okay. Well, for white America, that's true. But black America faces a very different reality. As a white American, I don't have to think about my race. I'm not judged by my skin color as soon as a potential employer meets me. As soon as a loan officer meets me. As someone that's coming to appraise my home for sale, don't judge me by my skin color. As a white American, I can completely forget about my race and even racism, so long as nobody talks about it. So then in my world, it won't exist. Well, I've decided enough of that. I'm here to tell white America it's time to stand the hell up beside our fellow human beings, beside our fellow citizens, and it's time for white America to be part of the solution.
Black folks don't actually have to work twice as hard as white folks to get to the same place in life. Let me explain. See, when I started dating Danny, I actually had no real clue just how different the world treated white folks and black folks. And so when I would hear my black friends say that they had to work twice as hard as white folks to get to the same place in work or in life, It used to frustrate me. Honestly, it hurt my feelings, made me feel bad. Like they thought that I didn't work hard. But the reality was that I have a predictable equation for the amount of work I put in and the results that I can expect. I put in X amount of work and I can expect to get Y results. And so when I would hear that black folks' equation, or they thought their equation was 2X equals Y, it didn't make sense to me. But now after being married to Danny for 24 years, having a front row seat for the past 26 years to her life, to see her experiences in the workplace and friendships and relationships, I actually think the equation is even different than 2X. I actually think if the equation was just 2X equals Y, if black folks only had to put in twice as much work to get the same results as white folks, just about every one of my black friends and family would take that deal, as unfair as it seems. The reality is that the equation, I think, is something more like question mark X equals Y, meaning that there is just a huge unknown variable in the equation at all times. My black friends and family have no idea, or they honestly do have some idea, as to the amount of racism, bias, prejudice they're going to face in any situation in life. And the workplace is a great example. My wife has been passed up for job opportunities, for promotions, many times when she's twice as qualified and works 3 times harder than her white counterparts, but is passed up for opportunities. I've seen her get up time and time again and continue to put in tireless effort that goes thankless, goes without being appreciated in the workplace, gives where other folks get the credit for the work she's done. And so I've watched her get up and continue on time and time again, despite this unknown in the equation, the question mark X equals Y. And what I've learned is she has had to develop and have a strength that I've never had to have and never will need to have. And honestly, it's inspiring, but it's heartbreaking to sit by and watch the person you love more than anything in the world have to face this type of bias and discrimination in life. And so, honestly, if 2X equals Y were the equation, I think just about every black friend and family member I have would sign up for that raw deal. And the fact that the equation is question mark X equals Y should wreck all of our hearts.
The question should be that when I come on this platform and I say, a white person did this to a black person and it really existed, it really happened, is that a crime that I should not talk about it? Like when you look into the white media, which is owned by the white people, it always portrays black people, African people, or other groups of people as less than them. And also, a lot of people have mostly bad stereotypes about African people, about black people. Who made them think that? Is it not the white media? Even when it comes to the Asian community, as you've seen that man who is trying to defend these groups of people that they are innocent somehow, that they should not face any consequences, that they've not done anything to anybody. He's Asian, you know. But the thing is, the stereotype that we mostly have on Asian people, whatever stereotype that we have, who pushed that narrative onto us? Was it not the white media? I have white people in my life. They've always been there in my life. They've done good things in my life. But it doesn't stop me to come on the platform and talk about the atrocities and the things that keep happening that come from their people towards me or towards my people. If I keep quiet about those things, it will continue to happen. So I do not support that you should just go around and attack somebody because of how they look like. But then in the world that we live in today, when you look into America, when you look into the UK, even into Africa as a continent of its own, these people feel they have a lot of control towards any other group of people. Look into South Africa. See how they treat the black people. When you say that we are now attacking white people because we call out the things they do, and also asking why we move around with this anger towards us. Why would you expect a group of people that have been oppressed for the longest time by a certain group of people to just keep quiet and be happy to whatever situation that they are going through? Like, I mean, come on. Even today in 2024, these people are still pushing their stereotypes, their negativity onto us, on us in 2024. But you want to say that we are being too much? And like I say, this is not an individual situation, just like it's not an individual situation when it comes to us black people. And also you talked about how people want to say that we as black people cannot be racist. I think everyone can be, but ask yourself, who started the system of differentiating someone's skin tone from the rest and making them feel like they are less than? Who started it? And for an Asian man to say that other groups of people, people of color, him being a people of color, us black people, other brown people, that we are the ones that are being too much on these people, when even today the privilege they still carry today is because of the atrocities their ancestors did to every other nation that they went and invaded. But you want to say that we are the problem because we talk about these things that they did or do? Are you joking? Are you serious? Like I said, I can't just be here and meet a white person, an Asian person, or whatsoever who has not done anything to me and attack them. That is really stupid. I can never do that. But how many videos have you seen of these people just seeing a black person seated somewhere and they have to call the cops? How many videos have you seen when a black person enters a shopping mall or places of luxury to probably enjoy the space that they have to be followed on a daily? I see a lot of them. But how many of those same videos have you seen of a white person entering any place and being seen as a target? But when you look into the world, who have been the most barbaric in human history? Is it black people? Because I don't think it's black people. Who are they? So when you say that we are being too much and we are hurting these groups of people, I feel like you're just not being genuine enough and that you want to get probably more attention from them people, which I find funny because at the end of the day, you being an Asian, they will still not consider you to be above them, even if you try however much you want to please them. And if they feel so much attacked, if you are a white person and you feel so bothered and you feel so attacked that the world is now against you, come on the internet, say something, protest. You saw what happened at the Black Lives Matter when black people were fed up of being seen as animals, as nothing, as worthless. They protest every day. We protest every single day. We speak up about the things that happen to us. Why aren't you doing the same thing? I mean, it's a free world, right? If you feel like you are being attacked so much, come out in big numbers. Don't just be an individual. Talk your experience so other people can also probably come and say their experiences, and maybe that's when we'll have a conversation to be talked about between us as a people. White people can come out and talk about their injustice, as well as we as other groups of people can do the same thing, and maybe we can find some common ground that we can stand on. But if you're just going to come and say that we are being too much when it's been 400 years of oppression and it's just like a few years for these people to hear the truth of what people truly think and feel about the atrocities they committed onto them, then I think you are just looking for attention. You also heard what the white people had to say, that they grew up being taught to be racist. So when you see that this person is saying that we are now the problem because we are calling out these people who also now know that they've been taught that racism, I feel like someone is looking for attention, and I hope they got it. The stereotype that is onto us as black people is not something that we put on ourselves. We did not do that. It is a stereotype that was put onto us by them people, by these people that you're saying we are attacking. So for us fighting for equality and want to get away from that oppression is seen as attack, is crazy. And you seeing it as an attack is crazy. That is it for me in the video. Let me know what you think about this. I would like to hear your opinions about this. Are we really being too much? Are we the ones that are attacking them white people? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm always posting. I will see you in the next video. Bye.